Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello students, thank you very much for being there. I want to welcome you back to our online class after a week or thereabouts holiday we have gone in celebration of Eid al-Adha. May Allah accept from us and act of ibadah. And again, I know that my layer meat is still coming on the way. I believe that. Thank you very much. Now, we are starting with the next question on the line, which is on income and expenditure. The assignment on income and expenditure. Today we are providing solution today. Now, number one is question is that we should draw a diagram to illustrate the circular flow of income. The diagram of circular flow of income and expenditure is given on notes. On your notes we see it there, but I'll just try to explain it here. In that diagram, we have what we call consumption expenditure. That is first. We have business sector and business sector on the left, while house sector on the right. Now, the household sector, I'm very sorry, the household sector, they will go to the market to buy, when first of all, they will receive salary from the business sector. You know, the business sector will engage them in factors of production markets. The household sector, they will engage them as labor, as entrepreneur, as labor. When they get to the labor in the business sectors, the business sector will pay them as wages in form of wages and salary. And in form of wages and salary, the household sector will have money to buy quality consumptions, expenditure. They go and buy from what the business sector have produced, what they have already produced. The household sector will also go with the money they collected from the business sector to buy from them. And when they buy from the household sector, business sector rather, they provide money for the business sector to be able to produce other goods and services. And when they produce other goods and services, they will also have ability to pay the salaries and wages for the household sector. The household sector will also go again to buy when they have the salary, and that is how it's flow like that. We call it circular flow of income and expenditure. That is why you see that. That's why the government the economists, they are agitating that we should buy what we produce in an economy. You can see that it's very, very important. If you don't buy what we produce in an economy, you are helping another person, another country's business. Those business will be able to hire labor. They will be able to provide money. They'll be able to continue with their productions. But if you don't produce what we buy in Nigeria, our business sector will die. And there will be what we call unemployment, because they will not have money to employ, to employ workers. And that is why our economy is dying gradually, little by little. Gradually, it's dying little by little. And this one is illustrate that one to tell us how important income flows in an economy. It flows from business sector to household sector, and it continues like that. It's from the business sector when they employ household, the laborers, in form of in a factors market, in the labor market. They make money available to the labor, to the households. The household will also go, when they employ labor, they have something what we call product market. They produce. The labor will go to the product market, they will buy. We have consumption and expenditure. When they buy, they make money available to the business. That is what we are trying to tell you about the diagram. You get the detail of the diagram in your notes. Now let's go to the next one. Now, differentiate, that is the second question. Differentiate between savings and investment. I've told you, when you talk of income, we have different sectors. We have savings, we have investments in our income. Particularly, when you have savings is divided into, when you have income, your income is divided into two. Economists believe that your income should be divided into two. Part of it should be saved, while part of it should be on expenditures. The part of money you save is what we can use. Maybe you can obtain loan in addition to that. to invest. Invest. You can see that investment is not directly relating to your income, but indirectly, because it's also related, it's directly related to your savings. That is your investment. And that's why I say saving is part of income, which is not spent. Yes. Your saving is part of your income. What you earn at the end of the month, at the end of the week, in form of salary and wages that you have not spent. Maybe you keep it in the bank or somewhere else. Savings can be earned in form of cash and liquidity. Yes, you can keep it in those things. Liquidity is just maybe you use it to buy in form of security, or you can in form of other wealth that you can also convert it to money when you need it. That is what you call savings. You have many people today, when they want to save, they buy gold. They keep that gold in the money. That one is liquidity. That gold they have in the house, they can easily convert it to the money in the future time rather. And that is part of it. Now, why investment is cumulative amount of saving, which is used to buy security or used to establish business. Yes, the money you have been saving, when it gets to a certain amount, you can use it to invest. You can use it to buy shares in the bank, as in any investment. You can use it to buy share in the oil company, in anything. You can also use it to establish your own business. And that is the difference between savings and investment. And the level of income determines the level of savings. Maybe, for example, a person that is earning 50,000 per month, you can be able to save 5,000 or 10,000 at the end of the day. You cannot compare with someone that is earning 1 million naira. That's why those countries that have high income, they have per capita income, they usually have high savings. They usually have higher savings than those who are earning low income. Like Nigeria, we are low income earners. We are low income earners. That's why our saving is very low. That's why also our investment is low in Nigeria, because we don't have saving. That's why a lot of unemployment. We have a high rate of unemployment in Nigeria. That is most of the reasons we have all this. But in advanced country, when they earn high income, some of them they can easily invest. Some of them they have investment in our economy in Nigeria now. They have investment in Nigeria because they have money to invest in any other country. They control economy of other country through the investment, and that is part of it. Now let's go to the next one. That is the last question. Why there is low savings and investment in Nigeria? Yes. The per capita income is the GDP divided by population. When you want to know your per capita income, you divide our GDP with total population. And whatever it gives us is our per capita income. And per capita income in Nigeria is very low. That is why we have low savings and investment in Nigeria. I've mentioned that. Income of many Nigerians is extremely low compared to their counterparts in the developed country. Yes, Nigerian income is very low because you can see, look at how much they are paying our workers in Nigeria compared with other countries. Yes, in America, an hour job can have at least $9 in an hour job. Multiply it hourly, or $2 or $5. Look at this. That's why you have that. We have very low income in Nigeria. And the national revenue is low, which has been hindering the government to engage meaningfully in the massive development of the economy. Yes, our national revenue is also low. It's very low compared to what the revenue of other countries. Nigeria national revenue is very, very low compared to. Look at what American. Cannot compare Nigeria revenue to American, to China, even to Japan. You cannot compare it to them. Now, there are also problems of corruption, developmental plan in the economy. Problem of corruption is also part of it. Poor development, economic development plan in Nigeria. You have corruption is very, very zero. The money that should be available for the citizens, for development, people are embezzling it, siphoning the money for their own selfish interests, for their own selfish benefits. Look at it. That is why it's affecting Nigeria. And again, you don't have a tangible economic plan or developmental plan in Nigeria. All these are affecting us. Another one is unemployment is another major setback for high savings and investment in Nigeria. Yes, unemployment is another one, because if you are not employed, you cannot have saving, you cannot have money. If everybody is employed, you know, we have high savings, and when we have high savings, we have high investment in Nigeria, and the economy will be booming. And those are the reasons. I thank you very much for being here. Inshallah, the next class we look into the another question. I wish you best of luck. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka.